The playlist tool, exclusive for black belts, is really created to be able to help you run create sessions without much effort. The problem it's addressing is black belts say it takes too much time, energy, and effort to run a session. You just learn how to do this, and I have to remember the steps and what to do and what to pick, never mind focusing on actually trying to solve the challenge of what the create session is for. That's why we built playlists. Playlists' purpose is to decrease the time and effort required to run a create session so that you can focus on thinking and less about the logistics of how to run a session and what to do next. So basically, it's going to take all the critical pieces that have to do with a create session, the people associated and the team that you're going to work with, the exercises, the stimulus, and it's going to bring it all together in one spot to make it easy for you to manage. In fact, what we've tried to do is basically put it on autopilot for you. So it's going to be able to send notes of who's going to the session, why the session is happening, where it's happening, preparation. It's going to get the team to do their homework and the assessment, going to help you pick exercises, customize them, track effectiveness, remember documents, you name it. We've created playlists so that it frees you from trying to figure out, now what do I do next again? Just fill in the boxes like the rest of labs, and we'll guide you through success so you can think about solutions and work on things where really your mental energy pays off, and doing more stimulus mining and building Spark decks and thinking about the challenge rather than having to worry about the logistics and the pieces that have to go together. So with that, let me take you on a tour of exactly how to use a playlist. When you go to labs, you want to go to projects and then create sessions, a section that actually only black belts see. You're going to see all the sessions that you've run, the folder organization system, like is across all the labs platforms, and of course our button that's always in the upper right corner when you have to create something new, Start New Create Session. So let's begin there. So the first step in running a create session is to build a web page for your team so that they get some context as to what they're working on, what they need to do in advance, and even where to go. Start off with an introduction note at the top that gives them again some context against what have I signed up for, what is this session all about. It's an open field for you to be able to put anything in. Hey, thanks for everyone for agreeing to be part of this. The best preparation you could do is to do the following. Anything from you that gives them context as to what they're getting into. Next up, you want to give them information about the session. So give it a name, small and succinct, the objective of what you're working on, and then any background of what you are, why you're doing this, anything you don't request, constraints, and any miscellaneous notes for the team to know. You're also going to put in session details as far as the date and time of when it's going to start and end so they can plan their day, as well as the session location because it's going to build a map for us. Things to pay special attention to here is you're going to be able to upload documents to give them some background reading if that's relevant for your challenge. You can also add in links to be able to get people to go do some advanced mining or maybe point them in specific directions. In fact, for this one, we're doing a challenge of the next generation water bottle that's going to help people drink more. And I found a great study that I really liked. So I'm just going to highlight that word study and I'm going to turn that into a link. I'm going to find the study that I really liked. Here's one. It was just a simple one from a blog, but I think it'll get people moving in the right direction. So I'm just going to paste that in. I want to open it in a new window. Why not? And let's do blog on water benefits. Just give it a name there and insert it. So we can see that's going to turn that into a link. So now I've added that link as well. So it gives people some background reading before they start. So that's enough to get us going. So now we're going to next preview the session web page. Now that we've put in details on the previous page, this is basically what our team's going to see when they log in. So I just want to make sure that this looks right to my eye. Yep, looks like it's the same stuff I've got. This is what they're going to see. There's that background. Oh, there's that study. Just want to make sure that link works. Looks like it does. Great. I see my tasks that they're going to have to do beforehand. So they're going to have to do the idea mining. They're going to have to take the assessment, when to start, when to end. And now I can see if it's created a little map so that they know exactly where we're going to be. So it looks good. I'm going to invite the team now. As soon as I invite the team, I get step 1 of 2, which is setting the access. So I got to tell the system who has access to this project. So I'm just going to do it based on email account. That's how I start typing. So I've already entered some people in. So I'm going to add Doug as well. I'm going to add Greg. I've worked with him before. I'm going to add Corey. I've not worked with her, so I'm going to type her full email in. So she'll get an invitation to create an account, but it's very simple. She'll be able to log in really easily. I'm going to add Rory in, and I think that's it. So you can see as soon as I put them in, they turn blue, and then they show up in my list of who has private session access. That's great. That's exactly who I wanted. When I click save, it's going to pop up an email that kind of fed forward some stuff from me from my page, which is just making it more convenient. So it's going to send it to all the people on my project team. On the subject line, it's going to say, me, Brad Pino, has invited you to collaborate basically on this project, the Next Generation Water Bottle Create session. So that gives them some context, so that's not just coming out of the blue. They know who it's coming from and what it's about. And then what we've done is fed forward some default text for you about the objective, date and time, location, and just a little bit of some insight as to why we're asking them to do some homework. All these fields are just default text. If you want to type over them to something that's more relevant for your session or a more customized message, absolutely do so. The more custom it is, the more it's going to look like it came from you, it's authentic, and people are going to pay attention. You get the choice at the bottom to add a link to your Create project page. So that'll be included at the bottom. So when they go and view this email, they'll be able to hit a link and go straight to that web page you just created. I can also send a copy to myself, which is always valuable to do. More often than not, you're going to add that link in just because it makes it easy for people to hop into the system to see what you're doing. And then you're going to click send email. So we continue to follow the yellow boxes as our little guide of what to do next. We've sent the email to the team inviting them to the session. We've got our team members in, and even here it's telling us now that we've invited them, we're going to keep an eye on our assessment results as they come back in, and here's where we can get those assessment results. Nobody's completed it yet because we just sent out the invitation, but as these session results start to amass, when we get more than 3 people who complete the assessment results will show up right here and we can look at them. Then based on the assessment results from our team, we're then going to need to select the exercises that we want to use. So that's just prompting us here, right? Look at the assessment results and help them to pick the exercises we're going to do. So we can either follow this link to create our session here using the playlist system, or you can see there's a whole new section that's been created. Your team sees the stuff above the fold. You see the stuff that's just down here, Innovation Engineering Black Belt only, in addition to the rest. And you can see we've got a few things that are special for you. Nobody else will be able to see the assessment results. Nobody else will be able to enter the effectiveness surveys at the end of the session. And nobody else can create session playlists, but now we need to, so let's go there. Now we're at the Create Session playlist, which you can basically use a new or rented playlist to get you started on your Create sessions. What we've done at the top here is we've given you some go-tos that are really ready packaged. They're things that we know work consistently. You can use one of those and borrow it. You can use one of your own playlists that you've created, or you can share a playlist from some other user, some other black belt. In this case, I'm going to pick new products, and it's going to show me there's the list of exercises that we've recommended for a new products one. So I'm going to use this playlist. I'm going to click that next, and it shows me all the things that I can do to then customize each one of those exercises. So there's certain fields that I can fill in that help build in the stimulus. Now what's helpful here is a couple of things. One is you want to use these customization fields to help you focus each exercise. So you think of an opportunity area within the overall objective that might make sense. In this case, we're looking to increase water consumption. So maybe for my lawbreaker exercise, I'm going to focus on some things that make it cool to drink water, because in my research in the stimulus mining, I found out that the reason a lot of kids don't actually drink water is because it's way more cool to pull out a Jolt Cola or a Gatorade, and it's not cool to drink water. So I want to focus one exercise against just making it cool to drink water. So you can see what we've done is we've taken the assessment results to help drive what exercises we pick, but we're also using the results from our stimulus mining that our team helped to do as homework to feed forward the stimulus that we're going to use in those exercises. In some cases, you might actually pick an exercise just because you were inspired by the stimulus. So you want to be able to make sure that you incorporate that all the way through as you go along. So literally, some lawbreaker prompts that I might get might come from some of the responses to the request I got because of how I set up my project. So literally, I'll just go back to my project page. I'll have a look at what people posted for ideas and insights, steal some of those, and fold them in as stimulus. So you use them for Spark decks, but you can also fold them in as stimulus that you use inside the different exercises. So for now, I'm going to hop back in, have another look at my playlist. Looks good. I can delete any exercises that I think, you know what, now that I look at it, I decide that that's just not going to work for me. Or I can even add some other ones that I might not have thought of now that I get to this point. And then I'm going to hit Save Changes. So now I'm back to my home base again, my create session page. We're going to keep bringing you back to this one spot because it's where you get all your pieces. So again, there's the top of everything that my team saw, and now I can see my playlist has shown up. I can download it, which is going to give me the download of everything that I just put in there, as well as my customized exercises. Or I can choose to edit it. I may have learned something new along the way, now that it's a day before my session, that I don't think that one exercise is going to work anymore. Or you know what, I just learned something new that I really want to put in as a piece of stimulus. So I can go back in and actually make changes and updates to each one. I can change the prompts. I can again delete the exercises. I can even go down at the bottom here and I can add new ones. Gosh, I don't think I have enough. Turns out I'm going to have an extra hour, so I'm going to add in an additional pass the buck. Here's the ones I already have, and an additional Osborne checklist, because I think those will be helpful. And I'm going to save that so that it adds it in, and now I'm going to be asked to customize those new ones that I just put in. Great, now I'm more comfortable. I think I have what I need. I'm going to save those changes. As soon as I hit save on those edits, it's going to take me right back to the same page, my create session page, and as I go down and look at my session playlist, I see it's been updated and I can download it right there. Every playlist download is going to include some extra pieces that we know you're going to need that are just helpful to have as tools. First one is we've given you a checklist. So just things you need to remember to do before the session, set up tips for the room, literally how to print every single piece and document and what kind of paper it goes on, and a rough timeline. It's all varying based on the session that you've created and how long you're going to work, but it gives you a general kind of guideline and agenda. I'm going to give you the concept card, all your exercises and how you've customized them, so we're going to give you a printout of each one of those, as well as towards the end we're going to give you a pitch sheet to be able to use with the team, some free writing, and then we've given you the define packet, so the customer concept, the math game plan, the learning plan summary, so that you have all those pieces. Last but not least, you're going to get an effectiveness survey that's pre-filled with all the exercises that you ran with the team. You hand one of these out to each person that went through the exercises, you have them rate it, and then when you go back to your create session web page, you're going to be able to enter in that data right here, enter results, so that we can keep track for quality control to make sure, hey, you know what, these things seem to be working. So I'm going to tell it how many people. I think I had about 8 people in. Tell it how many cards you created, 60 different yellow cards, and then you're going to fill in the boxes as to what people gave for their scores for each different exercise, and just finish and save. As you start to do more and more sessions, your laundry list of all the ones that you've done from your dashboard is going to get pretty long. So use those folders to be able to keep straight of what teams you've worked with, perhaps, what brands, what initiatives, what companies. It'll be easier to keep everything straight. And there you have it. That's how to use playlists to create sessions as a black belt only tool in innovationengineeringlabs.com. Another tool to help you increase speed and decrease risk with innovation.